Welcome to yet another video on the Twofold channel. This time around, we're hanging out with the brand new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. As per usual, I'll be taking you through what Samsung has changed comparing this phone to the one of last year, the S22, and then I'll be sharing its specs, showing you how to best make use of it, the camera, and then we close it off as to why it's got me confused. Let's go. First things first, let's talk about the design on this Galaxy S23 Ultra. What Samsung have done here is they've pretty much kept the design the same as the outgoing model, but what you have here is glass in the front for the screen and glass at the back of the phone itself. It has aluminium casing all around to protect and make sure it's sturdy. In terms of technicalities, what you have is a 200 megapixel camera at the back and a quad camera setup. In the front, you have a new 12 megapixel sensor there that makes sure that your selfies come out bright and looking good in 4K quality. Back to the screen, what you're greeted in front is a 6.9-inch AMOLED display. And then inside, what's powering it is a brand new Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 chipset for Galaxy. It's specific for this phone, Samsung says. And that's what pretty much makes this phone different compared to the outgoing model once again. The functions, or what has changed, is what's inside and the camera setup and what features you find inside the device more than exterior look and feel. There is something extra though, which is the colors on this device. You get 3 colors, which is lavender, this green over here, and there's a phantom black on the S23 Ultra. I think let's talk about the camera. Let's go. Now let's talk about the camera on this Galaxy S23 Ultra. What you have is a primary camera that has 200 megapixels of camera, and then there are other sensors such as your ultra wide, depth and telephoto sensors on this device itself, which means that if you're really trying to go small and capture those details, it'll come through vividly. And as much as you want to go wide, you can do that all on this device. When you're talking about night photography, it all comes through on the Galaxy S23 Ultra as well. You might have to play with your settings to make sure that your objects do appear clearly and as well as sufficient light for your pictures. And before I forget, another great upgrade on this is the stabilization on the images and videos that you're capturing on this S23 Ultra. You'll see for yourself that comparing this to, I think, almost any other mobile device that I've had, the stabilization here is quite precise. What's cool about Samsung is this cool thing called a smart gallery, where you can actually play around with all the footage that you've taken, make some edits on it, and share it with the world. Once you open your smart gallery, you can play around with features such as copying or lifting subjects from your images and pasting them on other objects. But it's pretty cool because you can remove objects from one photo to another, or even use them as sort of like smileys, if I can put it like that, where you can move objects around and place them wherever you want to. A really cool way to use that feature is by lifting filters from your favorite images. Let's say, for example, you saw a cool filter that you like on a picture that maybe one of your most favorite influencers took. You can actually crop that image or take a screenshot of it, save it in your gallery, and you can lift that filter by making use of the same feature in your smart gallery to make edits on yours. It's quite a cool feature if you don't want to spend money on your own filters. Don't let anyone see you doing that though. And next up, let's talk about the battery and performance on this device before I just give you my overall spin on the device itself. And now we're at my favorite part, where we're talking about the battery and performance in this Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. What you get inside is a 5000 milliwatt hour battery. It's good for about 2 days of battery life from a single charge. And it's super fast as well if you're using a 45 watt battery pack to charge this phone. Of course, in the box itself, it doesn't come with the battery pack for your cable, but you can buy that from any reliable store and you'll be sure to be making use of the super fast charging features on this device. My personal use of the device gave me about 2 days of battery life, and that's with the brightness up on high, using some social media apps as well as some editing and productivity apps. And unfortunately, I don't play any games, so I have nothing to benchmark that against, but I'm sure it'll do well with that in mind. While we're talking about the battery, it's quite important that we talk about the performance on this device as well. As I mentioned earlier, it has a Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 chipset on this, made specially for Galaxy, as well as 256 gigabytes of memory. It's not a lot considering, well, this can capture up to 8K video footage, but what's cool is that flash memory is the fastest in the world, according to Samsung. I think we can put it to a test and see exactly how it fares when you're opening up apps and making use of the flash memory on it itself. Let's wrap up this review and I'll give you my take on this device and exactly what has got me so confused about it. Actually, before we wrap this video up, I forgot to mention about the stylus. It's pretty much that, a pen which hides inside the body of the phone itself, and with the stylus you can control certain features, productivity features on the app itself, and make the best use of it. And in wrapping up, I'm going to pretty much give you my conclusion of using the Galaxy S23 Ultra. It's been quite an amazing time using the phone, being from a competitive brand to this. It's something that I initially wasn't looking forward to because I didn't know what to expect. It goes a long way when comparing this with its competitors and looking at it on its own. And that's my time with the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. I'm super keen and curious to find out what you think of this device, or if there is something that you would like to see me test out on this phone, given that I'm pretty much living with it now. Until next time, please do share this video with your friends and family wide. And again, let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a good one.